Are you curious about the mysterious world of MBA courses? Join us where we unravel the different MBA entrance exams such as CAT, MAT, and XAT.
If we look at the various examinations which India has, then we have the IIM CAT examination, which is a single examination for 21 IIMs. Out of these 21 IIMs, the 21st one has recently been added, which is IIM Mumbai. Out of these 21 IIMs, all of them do not have the same importance in terms of the return on investment. There are 6 major IIMs or the old IIMs which have a greater return on your investment in case you get admitted there. IIM CAT is a single examination not only for these 21 IIMs, but also for excellent business schools such as FMS, MDI, IFT. Rather, there are some people who even believe that an FMS gives a better return on the investment of a student as compared to, say, the premier IIMs as such. Apart from this, the IIM CAT scores are also used by another 500 more business schools which accept the IIM CAT scores, and IIM CAT scores become the first step in their admission process. Then they have their personality rounds as such. Then there is XAT. XAT is a singular examination for the most premier business school out of this particular lot of the Xavier's family, XLRI. Then there are 11 other XMI member institutes which also use the scores of XAT. Plus there are another 150 more business schools which go in for looking at scores of XAT. We also have the NMAT, which is conducted by GMAC, which also conducts the GMAT examination. It is primarily used by Nursing Money Institute of Management Sciences as well as 30 other business schools. Then we have SNAP, which is a singular examination for the Symbiosis family of colleges, the IBSAT, which is for the 9 IBS colleges, and the MAT is an examination for 600 business schools. IIM CAT is a joint examination for all of these business schools. There are about 2 lakh aspirants who take this examination every year, and about 3,500 students are called for the next stage of personality test by the top 6 IIMs. Around 1,100 of these get absorbed in the 6 IIMs, and if you look at it, apart from these 1,100 IIM seats, there are a total of 5,100 A category seats that you should be targeting as an examination. The XAT examination is an examination for XLRI, XIMB, IMI, IMT, XIME, IRMA, MICA, TAPME, Great Lakes, 4, LIBA, BIMTech, and another 500 plus business schools as such. This is a joint examination for the 11 Xavier's member institutes and 150 other business schools. Roughly 1 lakh aspirants go for this examination every year, and it has about 1,200 A category seats as such. MAT. Then MAT is an examination which is accepted by, whose scores are accepted by 1,429 business schools. 1,026 business schools are private, 116 are public or government business schools, and rest 4 are public-private business schools as such. So there are a lot of business schools that you would recognize here in the list: Amity, Amrita, LPU, NDIM, Jaipur Institute of Management, Noida, Christ University, which is a primary targeted university by a lot of students. Then there is Birla Institute of Management, etc. As a baseline, look at the structure, syllabus, and the trend of exams. And I start with IIM CAT examination. Then in case of the IIM CAT examination, it has broadly 3 different sections. I'm going to go slow now. It has 3 broad sections: verbal ability and reading comprehension, data interpretation, and logical reasoning. And then there is the quantitative ability section as such. As you can see, in case of verbal ability and reading comprehension, which is basically broadly focused upon testing you for your language abilities in terms of English language, there are 21 multiple choice questions which have negative marking. So there is 1/3 negative marking here. And then there are 3 questions which are not in the form of a multiple choice question with 4 options. Instead, you actually have to type in your answers here in case of these questions. So total questions in case of the verbal ability and reading comprehension section are 24. You get 40 minutes to attempt as many questions of verbal ability and reading comprehension as possible. A second section is data interpretation and logical reasoning. Out here, you get 16 multiple choice questions, 4 non-multiple choice questions. Non-multiple choice question would obviously not have negative marking, and the total number of questions is 20 here. you again have a time limit of 40 minutes here. In case of the third section, which is quantitative ability, out here, the number of multiple choice questions is 14, non-MCQs are about 8, and total questions are 22, which means if you look at the overall examination, it is an examination which takes 120 minutes or exact 2 hours. And there are 41 multiple choice questions, 15 non-multiple choice questions which don't have negative marking. So the total number of questions is 66. You can also observe that there is a difference in the number of questions which come in case of 3 sections. Although all questions carry equal marks, which means the highest weightage which is given in case of 3 sections is to the verbal section, followed by the quant section, and then the data interpretation and logical reasoning section. And now if I break it up even further to understand it better, then the verbal ability and reading comprehension section, broadly it has the greatest number of questions on reading comprehension. There are 4 sets of reading comprehension passages. Each of these sets has got 4 questions attached to it, which means the total of 16 questions come from verbal ability and reading comprehension part. Apart from this, the verbal ability section, it contains a certain number of questions of parajumbles, paragraph summary, paragraph completion, and out of context sentences given in case of certain paragraph, which are jumbled up exactly in the manner in which a parajumble question is presented. In case of data interpretation and logical reasoning, you have a lot of data analysis, there are a lot of tables, graphs, etc. And there are questions based upon direction sense and seating arrangements, but there are also some questions which are hybrid between data interpretation and logical reasoning taken together. The weightage of the DI and LR section is 32%. Then comes the aptitude section. The quantitative aptitude section has individual questions based on arithmetic, algebra, modern maths, geometry, mensuration, number system, trigonometry, etc. And the weightage of this section is 34%. This is what the IIM CAT, the premium examination for MBA entrance examinations in our country, looks like. Now, apart from verbal ability, logical reasoning, and quantitative ability, which are common subjects tested in case of all the examinations across the country, there's a list of almost all the examinations across the country. There is also general awareness and essay writing, which can come in case of certain examinations. So whatever comes in a certain examination, I've represented that through a green box, and whatever does not come, I've represented it through a red box here. So if I look at IIM CAT has only 3 sections: verbal ability, logical reasoning, and quantitative ability. It does not have general awareness and essay writing. But if I look at the XAT examination has all the 5 sections. If you look at MAT has 4 sections inside it. It would have verbal ability, logical reasoning, quantitative ability, and general awareness or general knowledge. It does not have a written component or an essay component inside it. Please have a look at this particular table for a longer amount of time to get a sense of what is there here. Now, if I talk about individual areas which get tested in case of these examinations, then the verbal ability and reading comprehension section, it has reading comprehension, it has paragraph summary, it has questions where you've got to complete a paragraph by picking out from choices. Then there is parajumbles and out of context questions. These two are pretty similar. Parajumbles and out of context sentence questions are pretty similar. While if you look at reading comprehension, paragraph summary, and paragraph completion, then they basically end up testing the same kind of skills. So we'll look at that. If I go into reading comprehension, now what I'm going to do to give you a better idea about things is I'm going to pick up 2 areas and out of the whole syllabus, and I'm going to explain you more about them so that you get a better sense of the gravity of the syllabus as such. So if I look at reading comprehension will have passages coming from different subject areas, but broadly they would belong to 3 broad areas: expository passages, narrative, argumentative, analytical, and abstract passages. Expository passages would be those which will have a lot of data, facts, figures, information, etc. about something. So it is almost like a teacher teaching you a certain topic. Narrative passages would have a story or an anecdote inside them. Argumentative passages would normally have an author who has a certain viewpoint and is kind of biased about that viewpoint. So the author tries to convince you about that viewpoint by giving you reasons, which makes the argumentative passage slightly more complicated and difficult to handle. Analytical passages are passages which are pretty similar to argumentative passages, although the basic issue out here is that the author himself does not have a viewpoint but does give you reasons. Now, if the author himself does not have a viewpoint but is still trying to reach a certain viewpoint and take a certain decision about his opinion, then automatically he would be more complicated in terms of his passage, and this makes the analytical passages much more difficult as compared to an argumentative passages. Abstract passages are normally not upon concrete things, but they are focused upon ideas, things such as religion, metaphysics, etc., and what is the effect of religion upon us, or the effect of a certain marketing trend upon customers, etc. This is what comes in case of abstract passages. So they will seem to be philosophical, and students would have a problem in understanding them beyond half a paragraph, which makes them even more difficult as compared to the analytical passages. So, plan that we are talking about. The first examination which you need to target, unless and until you've already started your MAT preparation, the first examination that you need to be targeting should be CAT, which would happen on 26th November. After that, you have in December SNAP, you've got XAT in the first week of January, the first Sunday of January. And because MAT is conducted several times in a year, unless and until you've already started your preparation of MAT, you should not be thinking about the September MAT. You should be looking at the December MAT. You have roughly 3 months of time to prepare for IIM CAT. Please do that. IIM CAT is a very challenging examination. It's very difficult, would require a lot of inputs from your end, and you'll have to do a lot of hard work. At the same time, it is the most rewarding of examinations. If you get into those primary 2100 seats that I was talking about, then your career is all made up. You would be in the top echelons of the corporate world. And CAT provides you with the best platform possible. That's the reason why your primary preparation should be focused upon IIM CAT at the moment. For 3 whole months, you'll be doing that. And after you've taken the CAT, other examinations may require you to prepare for certain other things as well. For example, a MAT would require you to prepare for general awareness. A XAT would require you to prepare not only general awareness and the 3 subjects of CAT, but you will also have to work upon your writing abilities, because there's a writing ability test also. And then you've got other examinations also which happen at a later stage.